On December 18, 2025, an executive order was signed that quietly ignited a new gold rush. Titled Ensuring American Space Superiority, it was more than just policy, it was a declaration. The order laid out an aggressive vision: a return to the moon by 2028, nuclear reactors powering bases on the lunar surface and in orbit, a fleet of commercial space stations, and a mandate for the Pentagon to secure American interests beyond the atmosphere. This wasn't just about planting flags. It was about unleashing the full force of American industry on the final frontier, creating the scaffolding for a trillion-dollar economy in the void. For years, space has been the domain of government agencies and a handful of visionaries, but this order was the starting pistol. It signaled to the market that the risks were now backstopped by national ambition. One analyst put it bluntly, "This EO isn't just policy, it's a blank check for the private space sector. It tells investors that the government is all in on commercializing the cosmos, and it needs companies to build the infrastructure to get it done." The directive was clear: America would dominate space, civil, commercial, and military. And in doing so, it would open the door for the most significant wealth creation event of the 21st century. The implications are already rippling through the financial world, because while Washington sets the destination, it's private capital that's building the ships to get us there. And one ship in particular is bigger than all the others combined. The term space economy used to mean government contracts and satellite TV. That's changing fast. In 2023, the market was valued at a respectable $447 billion. Projections now show it rocketing past $1 trillion by 2030, and some analysts see a multi-trillion-dollar market by 2040. So what's fueling this explosive growth? It's not just more rockets. It's a fundamental shift in what we can do in orbit. The biggest driver, believe it or not, is the artificial intelligence boom happening right here on Earth. AI data centers are incredibly power-hungry. They require vast amounts of electricity and land, resources that are becoming increasingly scarce and expensive. The solution? Move them off-planet. Welcome to the era of the orbital data center. Imagine constellations of satellites, each packed with high-performance GPUs, orbiting the Earth. They're powered by uninterrupted, intense solar energy. They're cooled for free by the near absolute zero of deep space, which eliminates up to 40% of a terrestrial data center's energy costs. And they can be scaled almost infinitely, without the physical or permitting constraints we face on the ground. Elon Musk described this as the fastest way to scale computing power, stating that Starship could deliver 100 gigawatts of AI capacity per year within 5 years. Startups are already proving the concept. The NVIDIA-backed StarCloud recently launched a satellite carrying an H100 GPU, the most powerful chip ever sent to space, and successfully trained an AI model on the complete works of Shakespeare while in orbit. The race is on, with Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and even Google's Project Suncatcher working on similar initiatives. The demand is real, the technology is proven, and it's about to completely transform the economics of both AI and space. This brings us to the biggest question: how do you invest in this revolution? For years, the answer has been indirect. You could buy stock in aerospace giants like Boeing or Lockheed Martin, or maybe a space-focused ETF like ARKX. But the undisputed leader, SpaceX, has remained private. That is about to change. In 2026, SpaceX is planning to go public in what could be the largest IPO in history. The numbers are staggering. The company is targeting a valuation that has been floated at over $800 billion, with some reports suggesting it could reach $1.5 trillion. The goal is to raise over $30 billion. To put that in perspective, Morgan Stanley analyst Adam Jonas noted that an $800 billion valuation would make SpaceX more valuable than the entire publicly traded U.S. military-industrial complex combined. That's Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and General Dynamics, all of them together. The public offering is designed to fund Elon Musk's grand vision. A significant portion will go toward building out those orbital data centers, expanding the Starlink satellite internet constellation, which is already the company's biggest revenue driver, with over 8 million customers, and of course, accelerating the development of Starship, the fully reusable rocket designed to take humanity to Mars. This IPO isn't just another tech listing. It's a public mandate on the future of humanity as a multiplanetary species. It offers investors a direct stake in the company that controls over 90% of the world's mass-to-orbit launch capacity. And just like Tesla's IPO redefined the automotive industry, SpaceX's debut is poised to define the next 50 years of economic expansion, turning science fiction into a tangible asset class. So what does this all mean for the future? We are standing at the confluence of three powerful forces: a clear government mandate for space development, a disruptive private company with the technology to execute, and a killer application, AI infrastructure, that creates an immediate and massive commercial demand. This isn't just about launching satellites anymore. It's about building a self-sustaining economy off-world. The executive order's goals of moon bases and nuclear power are no longer just national prestige projects. They are the necessary next steps for industrializing our solar system. These developments will create millions of high-tech jobs, not just for astronauts and rocket scientists, but for software engineers, data analysts, roboticists, and resource managers. The technology developed for surviving on the moon or Mars, in power generation, life support, and manufacturing, will lead to spin-offs that revolutionize industries back on Earth. We are at an inflection point. The journey to the stars was once funded by taxpayers and driven by geopolitical rivalry. Today, it's being funded by the market and driven by commercial opportunity. The final frontier is no longer a distant dream. It's the next great economic engine. The question is no longer if we'll build this future among the stars, but who will be bold enough to invest in getting us there.